Texas's plan to arrest migrants who cross the U.S. Mexico border illegally is on hold, while the Supreme Court considers a challenge to Republican Governor Greg Abbott's latest move over immigration. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a vocal critic of the Biden administration's immigration policies, unveiled the plan as part of a broader effort to address what he described as a border crisis. Under the proposed strategy, state law enforcement agencies would be empowered to detain and prosecute migrants caught crossing the border without authorization. The plan also includes the allocation of additional resources to enhance border security efforts. The nation's highest court put the law on pause over a lawsuit led by the Justice Department, which argues that Texas is overstepping the federal government's immigration authority. Under the law, any police officer in Texas could arrest migrants for illegal entry, and a judge could order them to leave the U.S. Justice Samuel Alito ordered an indefinite stay on the law Monday. The court could decide on the future of the legislation any day. A federal judge in Texas blocked the law in a sweeping rejection last month, calling it a violation of the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Texas swiftly appealed, and argued that it has a right to take action over what Abbott has described as an invasion of migrants on the border. The law allows any Texas law enforcement officer to arrest people suspected of entering the country illegally. Once in custody, migrants could either agree to a Texas judge's order to leave the U.S. or be prosecuted on misdemeanor charges of illegal entry. Migrants who don't leave could face arrest again under more serious felony charges. Arresting officers must have probable cause, which could include witnessing the illegal entry themselves or seeing it on video. The law cannot be enforced against people lawfully present in the U.S., including those who were granted asylum or who are enrolled in the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. Critics, including Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, have said the law could lead to racial profiling and family separation. American Civil Liberties Union affiliates in Texas and some neighboring states issued a travel advisory warning of a possible threat to civil and constitutional rights when passing through Texas. Abbott has rejected concerns over profiling. While signing the bill, he said troopers and National Guard members at the border can see migrants crossing illegally with their own eyes. Where will the law be enforced? The law can be enforced in any of Texas's 254 counties, including those hundreds of miles from the border. But Republican State David Spiller, the law's author, has said he expects the vast majority of arrests will occur within 50 miles, 80 kilometers of the U.S. Mexico border. Texas's state police chief has expressed similar expectations. Some places are off limits. Arrests cannot be made in public, and private schools, places of worship, or hospitals and other healthcare facilities. Migrants ordered to leave would be sent to ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border, even if they are not Mexican citizens. Is the law constitutional? The Justice Department, legal experts and immigrant rights groups have said the measure is a clear conflict with the U.S. government's authority to regulate immigration. U.S. District Judge David Ezra, an appointee of former President Ronald Reagan, agreed in a 114-page order. He added that the law could hamper U.S. foreign relations and treaty obligations. Opponents have called the measure the most dramatic attempt by a state to police immigration since a 2010 Arizona law, denounced by critics as the Show Me Your Papers bill, that was largely struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. Ezra cited the Supreme Court's 2012 Arizona ruling in his decision. Texas has argued that the law mirrors federal law instead of conflicting with it. Proponents of the initiative argue that it is necessary to fill what they perceive as a void in federal enforcement, and to curb the flow of undocumented immigrants into the state. They contend that Texas has borne the brunt of the immigration surge, and must take proactive measures to protect its borders and communities. Governor Abbott has framed the plan as a response to the federal government's perceived failure to secure the border adequately. However, critics have raised a host of concerns about the legality and practicality of Texas's approach. Foremost among these is the question of jurisdiction and authority. Immigration enforcement has traditionally been the purview of the federal government, with state and local agencies playing a supporting role. Critics argue that Texas lacks the legal authority to unilaterally enforce immigration laws, and that such actions could encroach upon federal powers. Moreover, opponents warn that the plan could exacerbate existing tensions between immigrant communities and law enforcement, leading to increased fear and mistrust. They argue that targeting migrants for arrest and prosecution could deter individuals from seeking assistance or reporting crimes, thereby undermining public safety efforts. Critics also highlight the potential for racial profiling and discriminatory enforcement practices, particularly in communities with significant immigrant populations. The humanitarian implications of Texas's plans have also come under scrutiny. Advocates for immigrant rights and civil liberties organizations have voiced alarm over the prospect of migrants being subjected to criminal prosecution and detention. They argue that many individuals fleeing poverty, violence, and persecution in their home countries are forced to migrate out of necessity, and should not be treated as criminals. Critics stress the need for humane and compassionate responses to the complex challenges posed by immigration. Legal experts have raised questions about the constitutionality of Texas's initiative, particularly regarding potential conflicts with federal immigration laws and the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution. Some have suggested that the plan could face legal challenges if implemented, leading to protracted court battles and further uncertainty. Amidst the ongoing debate, the fate of Texas's plans to arrest migrants for illegal entry remains uncertain. While Governor Abbott has signaled his determination to proceed with the initiative, its ultimate feasibility and effectiveness remain to be seen, as the immigration debate continues to unfold at both the state and federal levels. The issue promises to remain a contentious and divisive issue for policymakers, advocates, and communities across Texas and beyond.